Hey guys, welcome back to Team Death Slinger. My name is Peter, and today we're going to be looking at BT23 Undead using the new GranDracmon, all the great new support. There's a lot you can do with this engine, but we're going to take a look at what I've been having fun with and some of the cool tricks you can pull off with the new support. So, starting with our eggs, we're on 4 copies of EX4 Pinamon. On deletion, if deleted outside of battle, gain a memory. I think this egg works great with some of the specific cards that I'm running, but it generally synergizes with the new Matadormon Inheritable to net you a memory whenever you do some shenanigans, and threatening to steal a memory on the opponent's turn is always good. If you don't really like this egg, you can run the Xiaomon that draws you a card when you play a Digimon by an effect. I think that works great for filling your hand, but I think this works a little bit better with my level 5 choice. For our level 3s, we're on 2 copies of BT19 Impmon. On play, if you have 1 or fewer Tamers, you can play a purple Tamer with a play cost 4 or less from your trash without paying the cost. That's going to synergize really well with K because it wants to delete itself to force an Evo at the end of your turn. And anytime you can play out Impmon, that is an opportunity to play a K for free from trash and recycle them. So that's awesome. Retail also comes up because we are running Dobermon in this deck, so having Retail underneath a Dobermon just gives you a Retail blocker, and that is really fantastic. We are running 4 copies of the new BT23 GranDracmon. Start of your main phase by trashing a card with the Undead, Dark Animal, or CS trait. You gain 1 memory. That's going to be awesome. With Ishida, that's a guaranteed 4 memory start. With K, that is a 2 memory start, at least, possibly 3. So, it feels really good. Inheritable here, when attacking once per turn, one of your Digimon may Digivolve into a card with the Undead or Dark Animal trait in the trash. That's going to be great for some of our level 4s that do not have the when attacking effect that Sangloupmon is packing. So generally, we really like this Inheritable. Getting into Matadormon is kind of our main plan here. We are running 2 copies of BT8 Psychemon. Players can't reduce play cost. We lose really hard to Medieval Gallimon. We are playing cards by effect. We want to make sure that that sucker is not on the table. We don't want to give the opponent the opportunity to play it, so I did make space to run 2 copies of this card. We're also on 2 copies of the promo Dracmon. On play, if you have a purple Tamer and it's your turn, this Digimon may Evo into a Digimon card with the Dark Animal or Undead trait in the trash. There is just so much shenanigans you can get into with this card. It's kind of silly, especially with like the Memory Tamer Matt Ishida on the board. You can play this off a Scramble, Evo into your level 4, then use your start of turn effect to go back to 3 memory, and then you're guaranteed to make it to a level 6 on your turn, no matter what. So, I think it's worth running, especially because we are in the Dark Animal Undead core. Onto our level 4s, I am on 4 copies of the Dobermon from BT16. On play and when Digivolving, one of your Digimon gains blocker until the end of your opponent's turn. This is just a nice little utility piece. We are not particularly aggressive as some of the meta decks floating around with a bunch of security attack +1. And having blocker is just a really nice piece of defensive utility. When effects plays one of your Digimon, you get to draw 1. We're going to do that a lot, so this is going to be a nice way for us to draw cards as well. The main level 4 in this deck that we're really trying to see is BT23 Sangloupmon. When attacking, this Digimon may Evo into a Digimon card with the Undead or CS trait in the trash. We want to take full advantage of that to be able to Evo into a Matadormon in the trash on the swing to get all of the full value that card provides for us. And the Inheritable is the same as the Dracmon, where you're going to be able to swing and Evo into an Undead in the trash. So we're going to make as much use of that as we can. I am also running 2 copies of the BlackGatomon from BT8. It has Rush. It's kind of just a great opportunity with the GranDracmon to be playing this body out from the trash and then swinging a rush check for game if you can Evo into that and keep the turn. But there are quite a few ways that we can actually do that, so we're not particularly worried about keeping the turn off of that. Point being, lots of ways to play this out and get the swing to win the game with it, so that's why it's in the deck. Onto our level 5 pool here. I am on, we'll talk about Matadormon first here, actually. BT23 Matadormon has Scapegoat. On play when Digivolving, delete one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. And then if Digivolving from the trash, you may play a play cost 3 or lower card with the Undead or CS trait from your trash, not paying the cost. Really important note here, it says card, not Digimon. So you can play K as a 3 cost CS trait card from the trash, not paying the cost. So this plus your Impmon is the main way to recycle K from the trash. Popping a level 4 or lower is awesome, because GranDracmon is going to care about deleting the Digimon with the lowest level on the board, so being able to pick up a level 4 or lower off the opponent's board hopefully helps you delete something that's actually worth something. The Inheritable here alterns once per turn when any of your other Digimon would leave the battle area. By deleting this Digimon, they don't leave. So we're going to abuse that Inheritable just a little bit here with BT18 SkullGreymon. When Digivolving, by trashing 1 card in your hand, delete one of your Digimon with the lowest level and one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest level. The on-deletion does not matter. It will never come up, so don't worry about that. The way we're going to abuse this, we should actually go over GranDracmon first real quick. 4 copies of BT23 GranDracmon. Start of your main phase on deletion. One of your Digimon may Evo into a level 6 or lower, Undead or Dark Animal trait Digimon card in the trash without paying the cost. Then when Digivolving, you may play 1 level 4 or lower purple Digimon card from your trash without paying the cost. All turns when any of your Digimon Digivolve from the trash, delete all of your opponent's lowest level Digimon. So, One of the really cool setups that we kind of have access to is evoing into this. You play out the level 4. If K gets to do its thing, you can force the evo into SkullGreymon. SkullGreymon says, well, we can trash a card in our hand to delete something that your opponent has and one of your Digimon with the lowest level. So we would be trying to delete SkullGreymon, but we can use the Matadormon effect to actually delete our GranDracmon instead, assuming that is in the stack. So we can kind of sequence our effects here so that we use the GranDracmon to delete all of our opponent's Digimon with the lowest level, and then use the SkullGreymon effect to then delete one of their Digimon with the lowest level again. Hopefully by that point we have a little bit of a higher value target instead of just like a bunch of level 3s on the board, and this can actually hit something impactful. And then the GranDracmon goes bye-bye off its on deletion, off of the Matadormon inheritable, and then we get to trigger our on deletion here to evo the SkullGreymon on the board into a level 6 or lower undead or dark animal trait card in the trash without paying the cost. So then we evo right back into a GranDracmon and we net a level 4. So it's just kind of a way for us to be clearing more bodies off the opponent's board while kind of maintaining some value there and doing the thing that we want to do. This sequence is also what synergizes particularly well with the Pinamon that we talked about. It's not really hard for this deck to start the turn at 4 or 5 memory. But if you do start at 4 and then you get to do your whole on deletion sequence that ends with you on a GranDracmon playing at a level 4, getting 1 memory back, putting you back at 0 off the Pinamon egg, and then playing back the BlackGatomon for a rush check actually feels really good, and it is a good way for you to close out the game from 1 security. We are going to be running 3 copies of DexDorugoramon alongside the GranDracmon. Trash effect is never going to happen. We're not running Dorugoramon in this deck, but when Digivolve, we de-Digivolve 3 on one of our opponent's Digimon. Then if Dorugoramon is in our sources or this Digivolve from the trash, delete all your opponent's Digimon at the lowest level. This is an undead trait Digimon in the trash that we can evo into with K or the GranDracmon effect, which is, or the one attacking effect in Sangloupmon or GranDracmon, or Dracmon, sorry. So we are going to be able to get some de-Digivolve value and then delete all of our opponent's Digimon at the lowest level. When another Digimon is deleted, we can unsuspend this Digimon. So this is a nice little aggressive piece, and I find that de-Digivolve gets around a lot of protection effects. If we can't delete the opponent's Digimon, then de-Digivolving it and then trying to delete it will certainly get the job done for us. And in that sense, it's kind of a critical tool for getting around some of the shortcomings in the removal package available to us. For the same reason, I am running 2 copies of BT23 Dullahamon, has Piercing, Sec +1, and Execute. When Digivolving, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the highest level. If this does not delete, this Digimon gets +5k for the turn. On deletion, you may play a level 6 or lower Digimon card with the Ghost trait from the trash without paying the cost. Similar reasoning to running the DexDorugoramon, using de-Digivolve to get around some of the shortcomings of this deck. If your opponent has full immunity to Digimon effects, then executing into it with a 19k body hopefully will get you there. This is for the main purpose of swinging over those bodies that we can't actually delete with our effects. This also synergizes really well with the Pinamon egg because we will be deleted outside of battle due to the execute effect, and we can net a memory that way. We did just talk about potentially having 4 memory, evoing into GranDracmon for 5, and then you get to do your whole thing. Although this is actually a 4-cost evo, so really you need to have Ishida on the board and then pay the 4 to evo into this. Point being, you can get back to 0 memory, evo into Dullahamon, and then be trying to pop the opponent's highest level Digimon if for some reason you did not get to clear their board. So I find this piece fits really nicely if you are in a local meta where you're able to successfully delete all of your opponent's Digimon over and over again, and they're not running a bunch of protection effects. Ruin mode is probably a better level 7 for you to lock them out and stop them from playing the game, but I think Dullahamon offers me a little bit more flexibility here. This is also probably the slot where if you wanted to run something like the promo Gallantmons, because we are building a decent amount of trash in this deck, they could be going here. I am on 2 copies of Miss Memory Boost. Building trash is strictly good for us. If you don't like the randomness of trashing the top 2 cards of your deck, Purple Memory Boost works perfectly fine. Point being, this is just another way for us to net some memory in this deck. I am on 1 copy of DeathXDigivolution, just because we are running the DexDorugoramons, being able to Digivolve into that if we are really, really stuck. For some reason, we just get the worst stack on the planet and we can't evo into something in the trash with no K on board. Well, we can just play this for 0, evo into DexDorugoramon, and it does its thing. If you really, really hate this card, again, another slot where you could be looking at running the promo Gallantmon and doing some damage with it there. I am on 2 copies of Purple Scramble. We talked about playing back the Dracmon promo with the Scramble, so 2 copies is fine for that. Most of the time we're going to be using the Scramble to get into a level 5 because it saves us 1 memory. And then trying to evo into the level 6 off of either the attacking effect or the K effect. We have 4 copies of Wisdom Training, just our best search package. 3 copies of K from BT23. Start of your main phase by trashing a card with the Undead, Dark Animal, or CS trait from hand. Gain 1 memory, and then end of your turn by deleting this Tamer. One of your Digimon may Digivolve into a level 5 or lower Digimon card with the Undead or Dark Animal trait in the trash without paying the cost. So this is the main man that we've been talking about the whole time. You want to get him on board, and you want to be able to recycle him after you delete him. We do also have 2 copies of the ST16 Mat Ishida, sets you to 3, and then when you trash a card in your hand by suspending this Tamer, gain 1. Obviously synergizes really well with the BT23 Dracmon. You trash a card to gain a memory off Dracmon, you suspend Mat Ishida, now you are starting your turn at 5 memory, and you have plenty of room to be navigating your way out of the situation. Again, we talked about a couple changes like making room for the promo Gallantmon, change the level 7 top end a bit. If you don't really like the BlackGatomon, you can run 2 copies of the old Sangloupmon to double up on that when attacking inheritable. It's up to you, but at the end of the day, this engine is awesome. It has so much flexibility. I'm having a ton of fun playtesting it, but let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What kind of Undead shenanigans are you getting into with this deck, and how's it going for you? So thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. Thank you to our channel members for supporting this channel. It's people like Langlong, Big Z11, Coffee Deus, and DigiDane who make videos like this possible.